Everyone, Mappy here with a brand new game. This is Shining Soul 2 for the Game Boy Advance. And this, I guess the best way you could describe it, is a very anime Diablo clone for the Game Boy Advance. We can thank Sega for it, as you can see on this lovely title screen. Now, one thing I'm going to be doing differently with this game versus a lot of the games that I've done in the past is I'm not going to read any of the text. Now, one of the big reasons for that is that, well, I don't care about the plot of this game. This game has a very, let's say, functional plot. The other reason why I'm not going to read through the text is because I'm going to be fast-forwarding through all the text in editing. Because while you can just mash A to go through the text when you're just talking to random NPCs, actual cutscenes, they have a slight issue called you have no control over the text speed, and the text speed is glacially slow. So I'm probably going to, whenever we run into a cutscene, just hop into my video editor and make it run at 2 to 3 times the normal speed. We'll still have plenty of time to read it, and we won't die of old age. But anyway, let's press start, and we'll see another one of the interesting features of Shining Soul. Namely, it has a multiplayer mode. It's actually designed around you doing local multiplayer with a friend. I can't do that. I'm actually emulating this because otherwise I couldn't record it, because it's not like I have the equipment to record an actual Game Boy Advance. So it's just going to be me by my lonesome. So that is actually going to affect our class choice. Okay, so we hop in here, we have to select a file. I'm on a different emulator because the previous emulator I was using for Game Boy Advance games had this awful stutter when I tried recording. You guys probably remember that from Klonoa. It's not helpful for this kind of game. So I managed to jank together a build of Visual Boy Advance, and here we are. Let's go save file 1. And now we have our characters. Okay, so the reason why we're starting with Shining Soul 2 instead of 1 is that Shining Soul 1 is basically a proof of concept for this game. This one has 8 classes, that one has 4. And if I remember correctly, not only does that one only have 4 classes, but they're 4 classes that are already in this game. This one has more interesting level setups. It's, I would say, a little bit less grindy. This game's still a bit grindy, but anyway. Let's select a character. We have the Warrior, expert at close range combat, well balanced. Okay, I'll actually read this text because it's moving along zippily. Okay, so what it doesn't tell you is that the Warrior's specialty is getting the most out of equipment. You have a broad range of melee weapons you can use, and it is one of 2 classes that gets a passive skill that gets passive skills that let them use shields, and shields are really good. I will explain that at some point later. They get an ability that buffs up their armor, so any armor they wear is more efficient, which is really good, and they have an ability that makes healing items more efficient, which is really good. They have no ranged options. We might end up doing a Warrior just because I actually haven't played this game much with a Warrior. The class that I've mostly been playing this game in, we'll get to them. Going to the right, we have the Sorceress, expert at spell attacks, uses a variety of spells. The game's not kidding. Okay, so every character here has 8 different skills. 6 of the Sorceress's skills are spellcasting. Now, the way that spellcasting works in this game, that means that it is quite powerful, and it's good at range, but the sorceress really falls down if you get into melee, and you're not durable. You're not durable in the least. So we're going to not do the sorceress, because sorceress is hard mode in solo. You have the brawler, strong and dexterous, but has somewhat low defense. The brawler's interesting. It is a melee class. It has a ability that boosts its critical hit chance, and an ability that sets up regeneration. It is not the only class that has, like, slow health regeneration, though. We'll get to them. The other thing that they have, though, is that when they drop below half health, they get a pretty big stat boost. Or at least it's a boost to attack and defense. Which is pretty nice. I did some testing with the brawler. I didn't actually like it very much, but that's just because I guess that's not my style. Ninja tricks monsters with quick movements. Very fast. Yes. Ninjas have the fastest movement speed of the game. They have a mixture of, like, close range and far range things. They can do crits. And they have an ability where there is a random chance when they get hit with a melee attack that they just go into invincibility mode for like a second or two. They're good. We're not going to play as them. Armand. Dark Wizard. Half vampire, half human. Uses dark spells. The Dark Wizard is another spellcaster. It has a mixture of, like, debuffy and damage spells. The Sorceress is pretty much purely damage spells, other than one shielding spell. The Dark Wizard is really weird. Like, they just have a grab bag of spells. I'm not entirely sure. I actually think... Wait, if I think about it correctly, they are the one class that has, like, no actual non-spellcasting attacks, which is problematic. The Archer, long-range attack expert, moves swiftly. They are the other really fast class alongside the Ninja. They also specialize in, well, archery. They are the other class with a, like, just a regeneration skill. They also have, like, a grab bag of random skills. Like, there's an off chance when they hit enemies that those enemies will, like, get charmed and fight for them. They have an ability that summons animals to fight for them. They're a weird class. The Archer is what I played in the first game, like, purely. Archer or go home, because they were the one class in the game that didn't need healing items at all. Once you upgraded the healing skill, they basically were like, yeah, I regain a hit point a second, so as long as you're walking around and staying away from enemies, you're fine. Whoops. You have the Dragonute, crushes enemies with powerful blows. They're basically a slower, heavier hitting version of the Fighter. Which is a bit problematic for solo play, because, yeah, you can get locked into attack animations. However, they've got a cool counterattack skill, which is pretty nice. Where, like, there's a low chance when they get attacked, they'll just breathe fire and hit everyone around them. Now, the Priestess, helpful and brave, uses healing and support magic. The Priestess is secretly kind of broken. The Priestess is what I will normally play this game as. And the reason why I say that it is kind of broken is that, much like the Sorceress, most of the Priestess's stuff is spells. However, they're not offensive spells. You have, if I remember correctly, one healing spell, one status clearing spell, one attack spell, and then the rest of your spells are buffs. I believe it's one defense buff, which is a pretty massive bonus to defense. There's one resistance buff, which is a pretty massive bonus to elemental resistances. And, most importantly, you have Bless. Bless pumps all of your stats by, like, 8 at minimum. That might not sound like much. that is the equivalent of like 8 levels of leveling. So the play pattern when you're doing the priestess is that you just go into a boss fight or whatever, you pop blasts, and then you just go to town. If you get beaten up, you just cast healing spells on yourself and like get back to whacking them. They're basically playing the game on easy mode. The one restriction is that they don't have none of their attack stuff is ranged, but at the same time, their one attack spell is a damage aura that blocks like attack damage from enemies. Priestess is dumb garbage. I love it. But anyway, we're gonna do the warrior. And we're going to do a specific color palette. I think that one looks appropriate because... So, those of you who have watched Unplayed Things stuff, and if you haven't, go look up Unplayed a Thing on YouTube. I will link it in the description. Excellent Let's Player. Hasn't posted in a while for personal reasons, but that's fine. But anyway, so he did several run-throughs of the Souls games using a fine green-haired lady by the name of Salad. We're going to be playing as Salad's brother, Soup. Yes, this is okay. And now I'm going to shut up for a little bit because we have the opening cutscene. You'll see. You'll all see. Wasn't that simply gripping? Anyway, basic summary of the plot, in case you zoned out. Dahlia Gillespie has thrown in with the dark side, and the crystal has gone cloudy. And now there's, like, a hero tournament where Soup has attended. But yeah, we're going to a coliseum to prove that we can do the fighting. Yes, and yeah, I can't make that go any faster. Yeah, here's Soup. Wait, okay, I can't control this one either. Boken's very, very slow introduction. Very slow. Which is also pretty patronizing, honestly. Because you can't skip any of this text, and it's just explaining stuff that we've already seen. But yeah, here's our combat tutorial. It's entirely useless. Like, no, seriously. Look at Boken's amazing advice when we see it. It's gonna be great. Do I even know how to fight? Yes, I've played this game before, which is another reason why this being unskippable is annoying. Also, apparently you can just check stats in this world. Yeah. This is what I was talking about with, this is not exactly the most thrilling of plots. It's very bare bones, hey, let's do the thing next. Yeah, we can run around a bit. We can swing. That's not the weapon we want. We're going to be using a spear for this playthrough, because it does cool things to bosses. But the three weapons that fighters can wield, and we will get to in a second, Slime, are that sword we started off with, this spear, and an axe. We just tap the left shoulder button, and that happens. Yay! Oops. Excuse me. Sorry, didn't want to get caught on the slime. Similarly, we have this item menu. You can use items by pressing B, but we don't have it yet. Anyway. Oh, that's not the one. That's not the weapon we wanted. We want this one. Nah. Yes. Gained a lot of experience. Did I level up? But that in itself will not make me stronger, sir. Remember to check your status when you level up. Yes. So now we can... They're showing us how to level up. Okay. So, let's go over the skills we have. Alright. Okay. Stats. You have Strength, Dexterity, Intelligence, and Vitality. Strength determines how much damage you deal. Dexterity determines how often you hit and how often you evade. It's not that important of a stat. Intelligence, for the fighter, only affects spell points. It affects nothing else. We do not need to increase intelligence. Vitality increases hit points. So right now, we're just gonna put 2 and 2 and 2. Every time we level up, we get 4 new stat points and 1 new skill point. So let's go over these. Okay, so the different weapon stats. 1, weapons have a minimum skill level for you using them. So as we progress, there are going to be swords that require higher level. There are going to be axes that require higher level. There are going to be spears that require higher level. But you also can hold down the attack button and charge up for a stronger attack. Sword attacks do like one big sweep in front of you. Axe attacks do a spin attack. And spears stab in front of you a bunch of times. Like, I think the first level charge is 3 spear attacks. Charge attacks are more likely to hit and deal more damage, but they are slow. In terms of normal attacks, swords are the fastest, axes are slowest, and spears are in the middle. We're using the spear because it has the longest reach and the most useful charge. Shields. Most classes, if they use a shield, it goes in their glove equipment slot, and it just gives them a basic level of defense. For the fighter, if I up this skill, it will increase the defense from shields, and on top of that will give me a chance to just ignore a melee attack. I'll get a little shield icon pop up, and the damage will be prevented. This is a fantastic skill. Armor Up makes every single piece of armor that I use better. I will show it to you later, but actually, I'm gonna wait to put any skill points in because I want to put an Armor Up and I want to show you how effective it is, because it's pretty great. Efficacy, it increases healing items by 40% per skill dot, and that is pretty great. Counter, as far as anyone knows, does nothing. It's a perfect do-nothing skill. So we're not going to be putting any points in that. And tactics is essentially each point in it is free strength. Like, it's a pretty massive boost too. But anyway, we're not going to actually fill out any of that yet. We're just going to hop in for more cutscenes. Oh boy, this is probably a really thrilling first episode. Okay, we're out of cutscenes. So one thing you're going to notice a lot of in this game is people telling us that we have a very good name. So this is the kind of game where if you give yourself a very silly name, everyone will just go like, "Ah, yes. That's a very fine name. Oh, I have to remember that one." Which is kind of great. But yes. It's like, hey, got a cloudy crystal. This is a problem. Apparently, there's goblins. The fort. Can you just go stab some goblins? They've not done anything yet, but we hate goblins, so maybe they're doing something related to my daughter being missing. I don't actually have any proof or anything, but that would be just like them. Because I hate goblins for some reason. Yeah. So, pretty standard, hey, Soup, go stab a bunch of goblins for his quest. But anyway, as you can see, I have a little bit less HP than my maximum because leveling up does not heal you. Which is fun. But anyway, first of all, what am I doing wielding this dumb sword? We're spear. We are a spear main. Okay, so we currently have 4 of these basic healing items, an angel wing, which is a fast travel, and 400 gold. I'm going to... You know what? Since we get such a massive boost from our thing... I think I'm gonna grab the shield. And is there anything else I can afford for 80? No. But it's good to have a shield early on. Okay. Let's plop that shield in there. And let's check our status increase. Let's hop over to the skill points. As you can see, if we put armor up into there... okay. And as you can see there, each time you level up a skill, it costs 1 more skill point to level up. That would be +2 from the shield. It's actually the same exact... Okay, so the formula that they use to determine how much each of the skills improve your stuff, is the same. The shield skill does the same thing for shields as armor up does for all armor pieces. The difference at this point is that if I put it into armor up, any other armor we find automatically gets an increase, which can stack up quite a lot. Whereas shield, this gives us that sweet chance that the enemy's just gonna look very silly. I like that chance. Okay. So in this courtyard, we have some people to talk to. We don't care about these people. We might care about them later because they have some quests. This game has a lot of side quests. This is a little pub. You can talk to the people here, which, as you notice, a lot of animal people in this setting. That's actually one of the nice things about the Shining series, is that unlike a lot of fantasy stuff, it's not afraid to be like, yeah, we just have centaurs and, like, pig people. They're just here. No one cares. They're normal. The really important thing for the tavern is we come down here, talk to this person. Soup, do you need to rest? Yes. And we get a free heal. This is the only, like, inn in the game, as far as I'm aware. Just straight up, you take a nap, you get fully healed. We will be back here a lot. Oh my god, we'll be back here a lot. We wouldn't be back here a lot if we were playing the Priestess, because the Priestess is capable of self-healing. But I decided, no, it is soup time. So, yeah. Other thing we can do. We can train up fire resistance by sitting in a campfire. In fact, I'll show it to you. Whoops. If we hop into status, as you can see, we are not actually taking damage, but we would be. Pausing in this game doesn't pause. It just pulls up the menu. Which is something really important to know when you're fighting a boss or whatever, because, hey, if you don't pay attention and you don't have stuff pre-assigned to your hotbars, you're gonna have a bad time. Anyway, we can literally sit here until we get up to, like, a 20 resistance. We don't need to do that. I might do that off screen. Okay, we have the Royal Colosseum, which is just, hey, fight monster waves, and we have actual plot. Let's do actual plot, just so that this video wasn't just, hey, let's stare at cutscenes. I already noticed that it's been like 30 minutes and nothing has happened. Wonderful. Let's go. That's how this game's start is. We got these guys, and if you wait, you get a little bit of, like, conversation, where they'll, like, give you a hint about something. There's a lot of, like, oh, no, about rumors or whatever, but we don't care. We're gonna just come up here and bam, 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 bam. The combat system's not super exciting until you start getting skills. Enemies just kind of poof into existence. And actually, let's get you here, because I know, yes, if they've got an exclamation mark like that, that means that they are an enemy that is required for progression. Once you've killed them, you can move on. But yeah, until you get a few skill points under your belt, it's kind of boring. Enemies just kind of pop into existence. And it's not the kind of thing where it's like, oh, you need to move so far in the level and then they'll pop in, like, in front of you. No, they can pop into existence behind you. Because that's fair. And, yeah. Ugh. Range is an important thing in this game. Because, at least to begin with, a lot of the enemies are melee. And, I am missing a lot. I'm sorry if you can hear my controller and my button mashing. You're gonna hear that a bit less once we get to... I don't know if this... I can never remember if the chests are pre-generated or if they vary, but sometimes crates just have nothing in them. Isn't that wonderful? Okay, here's an early ranged weapon user. Come on, show off my mighty shield. It's like a 5% chance. So, when it happens, it'll be exciting. We're actually, I don't think we're that far off from a next level. And also, these guys hit like trucks, so we're gonna be careful. But once we get to the next level, we have choices. if I have equipment by then, I will do the fun thing and pick up armor boost. Actually, since skills are so cheap right now, I don't know if I should get that one, or... Ooh, excellent. Now we can talk about how this is a Diablo clone, because that is... Oh, and by the way, we probably should... Ugh, hit the wrong button. We probably should assign these to the quick bar. That would probably be very sensible. Make me less annoyed with myself later. But yes, we see a question mark here. I can equip this right now. No, I can't. Good to remember. But yes, if I equip... Once I have this identified, I can wear it. It will have a random benefit. I think there are a few unique items in this game, but generally it's Diablo-style random generation. It's the rule of the day. Okay. So hitboxes are a bit weird in this game. And we leveled up. Okay. Let's dump it into the strength and vitality, because that is what our bodies crave. And we have a choice here. We can put it in spear, which ups our charge attack. We can put it in armor, which will be a pretty big armor boost. Or we can put it in tactics, which is just good. I'm gonna do spear for right now. Whoops. Yeah. So I can show off the charge attack, which is the only use for our stamina. You get it, you hold down the button, you get a little glowy thing, bam bam bam! Yeah. It's very useful. I'm going to be charging up as many attacks as I can, because they are just, like, objectively better than not charged attacks. I do need to wait for my spell points, spirit points, whatever they're called, to reload, or whatever. But, Healing drop. You know what? HP recovered by 50. We have, hit select, and they will tell you things about the item. Unidentified. Stats. Tell you who can use them. Okay, we've not seen it yet. Ooh, that one's probably going to be really strong, because leather is like the step up from the stuff we've been finding. We're going to have some fun when we actually finally get back to town and identify things. Go! Go! The other drawback for charge attacks is that if enemies hit us while we are charging up an attack, we lose the attack. Which can really be problematic, especially when we get to later enemies that start using actual ranged attacks on us. Then it's just... ugh. Ooh, what does a needle ring do? I don't actually know. Okay. It's +2 attack, everyone. +2 attack. Everyone can use it. Bam. And I think once we get our armor skill, that's actually also going to give us defense. It's a really strong skill. Yeah, as you can see, getting hit breaks our concentration or whatever. Which is a problem. Yep. Ugh. Go away. I am not your friend. It might actually just be faster to jab these guys the normal way. I can't wait until I have a few more armor pieces, so armored is going to make sense. There we go, that's one guy dropped. Let's do the well slimes. We've done this song and dance before. So another thing is that it might be hard to see, but our spear is doing a little bit more damage. Just without each attack. Ooh, a beret! We're gonna have all kinds of fashion choices. And a little bit of money. Just a tiny amount. Okay, so red arrows like these that just mean the next room has plot. There tends to be just one of these per level. And this is like, hey, the princess has gone a place. And then there's like, what? You scared me. And it's like, what? No, they've not seen a ghost, they've seen Soup. The Mighty. Who's very good. Just so good at holding his breath. Yes. Anyway. So, they're going to charge at me. I'm going to use the herb, because I am a little bit low on health. And this is why I'm like, the game was balanced for multiplayer. Because, this is a pretty normal setup, where they just mob you with enemies. Okay, so now that we've leveled up again, level ups are fast and furious in the first few, let's say, hours of the game. So we have a choice. Also, we're putting these in those stats because those are the only ones that matter. Okay. We could do armor. It's only +2 for right now. Or we could do tactics. Boom, +2 attack. Now we're gonna do armor. Our armor's low. And that is... Okay. So if you go in here, if you remember when I was briefly going like, ooh, look at this. If I hit the left click on this, you see that it has an armor of 3, and that has that little +2. That +2 is from our skill. That +2 applies to everything. I think it even applies here. No. Okay, no, there are some rings that give you +1, and I mistook it. Anyway, what we need for plot progression is in here. You grab the prison key. If you don't have that, when you get to the princess's prison cell, because of course you have to save the princess, that's just what you do, because you're a main character. She tells you, oh yeah, it's in the first level, go back and get it, if you don't have it. Which is... thanks, game. Fame. I really should be a little bit less willy-nilly with our charging. I only have so much spell points. Or so many spell points, I should say. And they're honestly not... they don't regenerate that fast. But they do help me clear out enemies faster. Which reduces the amount of damage I take. Okay, the reason why we're coming up here is not because, oh hey, this is progression. It is not progression. It, however, will give us a lot of money. Because of a quest that it solves. A quest that we don't know about, because, I know about it. And that means the game doesn't need to tell me about it. Anyway, we've just picked up a red shoe. That'll make sense later. I mean, a little bit of sense. Not a lot of sense. I didn't see it, but I think our shield just went off. There's like a little bit of a tink-tink noise. So another thing is, I don't actually have my headphones on, or... because this game is actually really loud. One of the quirks of the emulator I'm using is I can't adjust the volume, and even with manually adjusting the application volume, oh, I wish we were using axes, but spears. This is like the next, this is like a few tiers up in the axes, and it's an enchanted one. So what we haven't seen so far is this game was entirely willing to give you weapons that you just straight up can't use. Like, at all. Like, at least with that one, we could theoretically go, oh, I'm gonna bump up axes and use the Francisca. That's not something we can do. Okay, so as you notice, plus 8. Because this is normally a 6 defense item, but now it is a plus 8. So collectively, yeah, 5 and 8, 13, 7. We would be down to a defense of 14 without that armor and shield skill. Very nice. Anyway, as I was saying, this game is perfectly willing to be like, oh, you're playing a solo game as a fighter? Here, have a fireball spellbook. Oh, you can't use those? Well, pardon me for being considerate. Oh my god, we're gonna have so much stuff to evaluate. I mean, the one nice thing about getting a enchanted weapon that we're not going to use is it is going to sell for quite a bit. And that is something to consider. Okay, we are actually, if I remember correctly, at the boss. This is not a long area, which makes sense because it's the first one. Oh, hello there. Didn't see you through the scenery. Yeah. Alright, yes. That red arrow is like, hey, this is boss. Hey, crafting materials! We will get into crafting when we get into crafting. I don't think I've ever used crafting. Mostly because I'm lame and I haven't gone very far in this game. Even with the almighty priestess. Anyway, Angel! Angel, go! Let's head on in here and get some of our stuff evaluated and then sold off. Okay, first of all, that's a good one. Leather hood me, please. Okay, that's pretty fantastic. We're probably going to end up using that. Cotton hood. And it's a cotton hood plus 1. I've got no more money. Let's swap up to our fantastic new leather hood. Bam. Look at that. We've got more hit points. Let's actually go do the red shoe quest. Because I do need that money for stuff. We just hop in here. We talk to this girl. And she goes like, hey, where'd my red shoe go? Oh, we found one? Thanks. Here's a blue shoe. That was pretty expensive, you know, and she's not kidding. If you really care about the text telling you about the shoe, then just pause and go slowly. I know, this feels kind of out of character for me. Just the whole, like, oh, yeah, I don't really care. Let's go. 500 gold pieces. It's fine. We'll sell you a leather hood. It doesn't matter, because, yeah, you're just... Everyone in this game will accept everything. We're just going to store the mithril in here for right now, just so I don't lose it. Now that we've got a little bit of money, let's go price a few things. Okay, the Beret of Refuge, which, can't remember what that does. Oh, it's just, like, plus defense. So, as you can see, it's, like, plus 6 defense, but it drops our hit points. I think we're going to stick with the one that has lower defense but better health. The Francisca, it's an int boost, just kind of useless on us, but it's going to sell for a lot, so it's fine. The robe, that is darkness resistance, which doesn't matter for the first thing, and the hood, which is a hood plus 1. Anyway, let's sell the crap we just picked up. You can't even use that right now. Whoops. Got that. Ooh, should we... You know, it's a plus 6 boost. It's good. It's a good boost. So let's swap out our short spear for a light spear. Sell it. And maybe we have enough for a better armor piece. No, we do not. How annoying. Wait. Oh, that's useful. Sell that. Ooh, we can just go straight up to the best grade of armor, which is nice. We are currently the shabbiest of warriors. Oh, it's gonna get weirder. Our outfit is just gonna get so strange. And before I forget, let's hop in here. Let's buy a few more of these. We'll need them. And another angel wing. Now, what the game does is it actually remembers what items you've used in the past. So even if I'm down to 0 angel wings, it just goes, hey, this is the angel wing slot. As soon as you have more, you can just hit the button and it'll be fine. Anyway, heal time. Oh my god, I just looked over my recording and it's been like 50 minutes. Most of which is just going to be gone in editing, because... Actually, no. Most of it's still going to be there in editing, because most of it's just me rambling. Oh boy, I hope people like rambling. I think future episodes are not going to be this long. Just because... Yeah, there's going to be fewer cutscenes, I'm going to have to explain less... And it'll just be okay. It'll just be okay, collectively. Yep. Have your big pre-boss speech, and we can get going with our lives. Okay. So what this guy does, he chases us. He has 2 attacks. This is one of them, and you basically, whenever he stops... Oh, here's the other attack. Does a swing, goes around, falls over. You hit when the guy is tired. And you just kind of move out of the way. The window is not actually that big. And that is fire damage, so if you're having trouble with this guy, he hits hard. So that is why I picked up those. Okay. Yeah, let's be careful. Nothing fancy. Just stab a few times in the butt. Okay. Phew! The first time I was doing it in testing for this, I nearly died. Because I wasn't watching my healing and I was using the axe and I was like, oh, I could just ram my face in the boss, I guess. Yeah, and this is where it would be like, hey, you've got the prison key, you need it. And if you somehow miss that, you could learn about it when you need it. And we got another level up. And we can't actually level up right now because the game won't let us. What we can do is get our treasure here, which is a magical bronze lance, and we can go back to Clantol Castle. And have more plot. Yes, Soup has returned. Yep. Okay, they're planning an attack, yada yada, go through the graveyard. Yep, we have to go through the graveyard. That's pretty much everything. We also need to talk to this old granny. Because monsters keep coming out of her well. That sets up a side quest. It doesn't tell you that sets up a side quest. So you might think you're like, oh, I'm talking to this random NPC, and then, hey, why is there this new location on the map? Okay, identification lady. Do the identification. That is just straight up better. Because oh no, it's cursed. Oh, it's cursed. So, how curses work in this game? A cursed weapon deals damage to you whenever you use it. We cannot regen. That weapon is, while more damaging, is useless. There is a late game item, actually I think it's an armor set that you can do, which lets you eliminate the damage. but it's not worth it, my friends. Also, it's a lot of money. So we can actually upgrade immediately. I should have thought about that. Let's actually go for defensive stuff. Nothing's better than our hat because it is magic. We have a vest, which takes up, like, all of our money. We're gonna grab the vest. We've not gotten to the point where they start giving us equipment that, like, really justifies our massive defensive abilities. Because one of the things you need to understand about the warrior, who maybe I should actually point at us, because, yeah, we actually face the direction we're actually facing in the inventory. But one of the things the warrior does is that the warrior has the best armor availability in the game. Like, late game, we're gonna be wearing, like, full plate and everything. It'll be glorious. But yeah, looking over the time, it's been 55 minutes. So I'm gonna just stand on the fire and bid you all goodbye. I'm Mappy. This has been a while. This has been a little bit of Shining Soul 2 with Sal's Brothers Soup. And I hope you've enjoyed. If enough of you complain in the comments and, like, really want to see a different class, we can totally do a different class, but it will mean that I'm going to have to play up to this point and go through all those cutscenes again. Yay! Anyway, I'm really just going to leave Soup here until he's nice and warm, because he's a chilly boy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. Take care, and I will see you next time. Later.